The other topic I wanted to talk about was the the late night bloodbath. Um, I think it's only a matter of time now. Um, it's basically only a matter of time until all late night show hosts are just cooked,
Yeah.
or they're replaced with like. I think they tried to do this with that Lily Sings person. They like tried to replace them with YouTubers, but the reality is like I think in our lifetime there will be like on people's TVs like Timcast will be
Right.
there'll be like live people will that will be what people watch at night. I've always had this dream. I think I'm like too old or not entertaining enough. Like I always wanted to do like what old Conan O'Brien did. I
Hmm.
guess Gutfeld's pretty close. But like to have like live music on the show and still talk like pop
Yeah,
culture
that'd be so cool.
at like right. And like the problem is you need huge budgets for that stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'm gonna go to Melanie Mack and then Hannah Claire. What do you guys think? Like, I mean, we know that Colbert was losing 50 million a year. They're
Hmm.
trying to say it's because of Drumpf, but that's not why
What
he got
about when
canceled.
Biden was in office?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Well, it's just like I think these kind of things are just a bit too scripted and it feels just a bit too okay, they can only say what's safe to say. They have so many limitations versus when you can hop on Rumble or YouTube and you
Yeah.
can watch somebody and actually get their genuine opinion. So you're not getting just a lot of that genuine interaction from watching these late night TV shows. And it just reminds me of when I've done different gaming industry work, when I used to do mainstream stuff, is that you would see some companies that would want to hire influencers or personalities, but then they would put us in really scripted things.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, oh, why isn't this turning out? Why isn't this getting this that many views or as good of reception from people? Well, it's because people weren't, it's not like they watch creators because of who we are. They watch us because they like the genuine interaction. They like the genuine personalities. And so when you take
Wait a minute.
that,
Can I do this? Look at this. Oh, it turns off. It has. Look,
I
they
don't
have
see
this thing.
whatever
I
it
can
is.
turn donation banners on too,
Oh,
but it just turns off right away. So soon we're going to be able to have live chat on the screen and viewership
Oh,
stats.
cool.
oh, how cool.
Yeah. So that's part of the live experience.
There we go. But yeah, that's the thing is I have absolutely zero desire to watch any of these TV shows, like late night shows, this and that. If I want to actually get people's opinions on current events, I'm going to look on other platforms like social media platforms and look for normal people. And sometimes, and I'm fine, and it doesn't have to be just one, okay, just conservative stuff. Sometimes I watch people with different opinions than mine. I do. It's just, I just want to
Sure.
see people be genuine.
Hmm. I think that the thing I've never understood about the late night sphere, and maybe this is kind of tapping into what Melonie is talking about, is that it seems to be like comedian to late night host pipeline, and I think that does shift the talent. Like
Yeah.
if you're a comedian, you write stand up, often you're very authentic, you're reflecting on your life, you're saying what you want, and then you get put behind a desk and you have to monologue, and there's probably a team of writers behind you and a network being like, say these things. It seems like it's sort of doomed from the beginning. I'm thinking of like the only late night show I didn't really watch it, I've seen reruns of it, that consistently was Craig Ferguson, the Scottish comedian.
Yeah.
I thought he was real cool, but it doesn't seem like he was able to last the same way that Colbert and some of these other guys are. On the other hand, like I could AI generate probably a Colbert script and it would be dead on to what
Vaccine good. Vaccine good.
Right, they're
Orange man
predictable.
bad.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like you're not, so at that point you're not going there for like when Shane Gillis is performing, people are kind of wondering what he's going to say. That's why he's notable when he hosts a award show or whatever. But when Colbert gets up, like, you know his talking points, but not because he's been on TV forever, because he's going to say kind of what general regime says, which seems like it takes away again from that comedian aspect that probably brought them to prominence in the first place.
Yeah. I think that it's just the one, like I said, having been on a TV show very briefly, I see the
amongst us, Melonie.
Yeah. I mean, and Melonie too, actually, because she's on many TV shows. But like, when you see the amount of money that they piss away,
I know.
It's like when I was on that 5-minute segment about claw machines, 4-minute segment, they bought a brand new claw machine and just threw it in the dumpster after the 2 seconds that we used it. I was like, I mean, the guy who hosts a once a week segment was living on like the 30th floor penthouse of a building in downtown Manhattan. Mm-hmm. The amount of money that they're pissing away, like, there's just simply no way that they could exist. And when you have Colbert losing 50 million, what is the answer? There is no answer.
Right.
You have to replace him with somebody who makes no money.
Yep.
And I mean, look at what we can do with Stream Decks.
Yep.
I can do my own camera work. I can go to 5 different cameras if I want. I don't need 5 camera operators who are all union, who all make 150 to 250 grand a year. I don't need an audio engineer. Everyone uses the same mic, the same mixing board. You know, and they just never bothered to try, and they were like this huge behemoth that couldn't exist under its own weight. And they're trying to say, oh, it's Trump's fault. They're all afraid of Trump. I'm like, you guys were losing $50 million a year under Biden.
Right. I mean, you can't just blame Trump for everything. That's the thing. Like,
right.
You were probably outpaced by other technologies. I mean, to your point, you know, when I used to do IRL, people would tell us regularly, like, that was the news show they watch, which means they're making a decision between late night or a different, you know, mainstream option. I think what's interesting is that instead of saying that they are just unable to keep up with the times and saying the truth out loud and changing their format or making themselves more interesting, they're blaming Trump. But they are putting clips on YouTube. They are building YouTube channels and trying to drive revenue that way. Right. Yeah. I mean, they do well, but that means they can see the technology. They know what's going on, and they're still telling the viewers it's Trump's fault, which is just like,
it does well though for one. It does well for an ultra small team. Like, you know, Dave Rubin bragged about, like, when he's not buying babies, he's like, well, I get as much money. I have as much viewership as Stephen Colbert with me and my team of 3. I'm like, why do you even have a team of 3? I have no team whatsoever, and I put on a live show that's bigger than Dave's. But anyway, like those videos
recently, you're gonna make us all enemies with everyone else on the internet.
Hey, my opinions are my own. I know that Hannah Claire Brimlow is a big fan of gay men renting out wombs and buying babies.
Nah, dog.
Let it be known.
Jeremy's mad because he's just really fight with everyone, including me.
Yeah. But like, they, you know, I saw the Late Show, Colbert Show, you know, put out all these clips, and like every one of them are going viral lately because of all the drama.
Yeah.
2-3 million views each. Sure. That's great. Stephen Colbert's salary is $30 million a year. Whew. Like, they're probably making 2 to 3 million on their YouTube channel. I wouldn't doubt.
Right.
But like, you know, they can't afford their ridiculous production. They can't afford. Nobody likes these people, so they're not buying their merch. They're not, you know, can you imagine somebody super chatting Stephen Colbert? That'll never happen. So I think that they just killed the format. They didn't change. They stayed on the same thing. And they just said, well, we'll just ride it into the dust. My opinion is that Stephen Colbert and TDS legitimately killed it. Like, there's no doubt about it, in my opinion.
How could it not, though? I mean, maybe I'm totally wrong here. I've never watched these late shows consistently, probably with a lot of other people my age, but the idea that you would like have your regular 6 o'clock news, 7 o'clock news, whatever, and then you have a late show and it's still pummeling you with the same political biased opinions and you can't get away from it. So it's not funny. You're getting kind of boring celebrity interviews. Like, what are they doing to give anyone a relief? Because if it were something that people were like looking forward to, because it's not the same thing that everyone else is talking about, then it would be different. But it seems like they just leaned into becoming more and more about politics. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misinterpreting it.
Yeah, I thought that late night shows used to be more fun and focus more on pop culture stuff. And it does seem like they are mostly politics influenced now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
could any of them get through one of their opening monologues, which they all have, so they're all doing the exact same thing, without referencing Donald Trump? No.
Exactly.
And the thing is, the takes are not unique enough to be like political. Like, comedians talk about politics and there can be some interest there. But if it's what you do all the time, constantly, I could just imagine the audience getting bored. We all talk about political fatigue, especially coming out of an election year. Like, people want to talk about other things, and I don't blame them for it. I read about politics all the time. It's a huge part of my daily discourse, but I don't only talk about that.
Right.
There have to be other things, and that's what the late night shows, in my opinion, should be doing.
well, that's what that's what they used to do, and now all their guests are politicians.
Right.
What do you think? My thought was like, it's because they've been talking about Trump for 12 years.
Right.
Like, even people that hate Trump are over it.
Yeah.
And like,
It's just not a new take,
right.
Like,
Yeah.
now with his like hands are bruised or whatever, every reporter is like, it's a very common thing.
Every elderly person I know has bruises like that. It's not even like uncommon.
They can't even whip it up into very much of a fervor, right? That's why I think they're talking about the Epstein stuff so much, because they're like, well, this is something Trump related we haven't talked about before. It's a different angle. But again, like, I'm sure the audience is not wanting this to be the main focus of who's supposed to be their entertainers. Like, if the late night show is supposed to be a funny palate cleanser and you just talk about, we hate this guy and he did something wrong, and you try to disguise it as jokes, it just becomes stale.
Whatever happened to, in the year 2000, like,
What?
Steven, you never saw that bit? That was, fuck you both. That was one of the all-time greatest.
I wasn't allowed to watch TV during the week while I was being going to school, so I think I actually missed a ton of stuff.
Chat, bail me out. Like Conan O'Brien, he had the insult comic dog on his show, a Triumph. He had these bits that he would do that had absolutely nothing to do with politics, and it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I tuned in every night because I was like, I would stay up late. I watched because for two reasons. One, Conan O'Brien had the best bands. He would have like indie bands and like bands that I like Interpol and the National, and like actually cool bands. And then he had like hella amazing segments.